This is Tom Cloud with this week's Precious Metals Market Update. A lot of things I said last week about performance, we've had several calls in and money managers, and it just shows you people in the industry don't even know how well gold and silver have done because of all the negative press, and they were shocked when they heard what I said on this show last week about it. In fact, one money manager that manages hundreds of millions of dollars even had his research people check it out. They came back and said, yeah, it's exactly right. But the question needs to go on. The world continues. We hear of Goldman Sachs buying $3 billion worth of gold. We hear these central banks in Asia, they can't keep, they're buying gold and silver. Everything that comes to Singapore and other Asian areas are being snapped up, and yet we in America sit here with the lowest premiums and the lowest prices, and we're pouring money into stocks, and it's got to be a bubble. There's no question about it. There will be an adjustment, but all of it's been factored in. And then today, as I record this, the Federal Reserve will announce this afternoon on Wednesday, as this is recorded, if they're going to raise 10 or 15 basis points, claiming the economy is good. And yet every time they do this, the bond market goes down, the real estate market gets affected negatively as interest rates go up. So you sit and you've got a pull going on. It's like a tug of war going on. One indicator is good for gold and silver. One indicator is good for bonds if interest rates are going down. Certainly if taxes are cut, it'd be good for the stock market. So you've got all these pulls going back and forth, but I've always said you keep your eye on the central banks. You keep your eye on J.P. Morgan. You keep your eye on the Chinese government. What are they buying? What are they pouring their money into? And then there's a video out that I'm not recommending Doug Casey's newsletter. I'm just saying he's got a free video on YouTube that you can download that every American should look at just to see. And he's got a free book out there called Fed Coin. But Doug is someone I've always respected, not a close friend of mine. I don't take his newsletter, but certainly he's made some of the best calls over the past 2 decades of anybody. Nobody can deny that. But I would just urge you to spend a little time and look at his video. He didn't even mention gold and silver till 45 minutes into an hour and 10-minute tape. But it's great information for you, the investor out there, to look at different areas of investment and different things available. So I just say look at it because it does have a lot of good information on there. But what you've got to realize is there's going to be Bitcoin won't stay out there. He talks about Bitcoin and the government putting clamps on it and having a similar coin that he's calling the Fed coin down the road. And we're hearing about this in Europe as well. And then we wake up and we see more banking troubles. We see them back in Greece again. We see them in Italy. And people don't realize one bank fails, it's going to send shockwaves around the world. And remember our old term, bail in, where every penny you have in the bank is not your money. The bank has problems. They can use your money and give you what's left, but they'll take their debts. And this morning, today, I had an early morning conference call, and the large investor, that's what he's being told is going to happen. And he's got contacts all over the world. There's going to be a bail-in sometime in the next 2 years. And then we're getting inundated with this information that Jim Rickards and the guy out of London is putting out, that in the next 20-something days, there's going to be something major happen that's going to send gold up double to $2,500 an ounce. Once again, I don't know that information. I don't have the contacts that Jim Rickards has. And all I can tell you is these are people that have good track records. And I can tell you from our office in Asia, you can't keep physical gold and silver there. So I do believe there is something going on. And I do believe, as I said, ordinarily June, July are our two slowest months for volume and the phone ringing. But this June has started off differently, and it just seems to be something out there that's big. I don't know what it is, but certainly you need to follow it and see what happens. And as I said, there is, you can go to kingworldnews.com and look at this 26-day thing that was put out on King World News this past Friday. And I tell you all this to help you try to decipher what is going on. I don't have all the answers, except I know I am more uncomfortable right now than I've been in a long time with securitized debt, meaning bonds that continue to get hammered. And some people believe today the Fed will announce this afternoon that they're going to quit buying up debt because the bonds are being liquidated. There's no liquidity. They're going to try to force it over to the government from the Federal Reserve as a private company, and we're going to get killed both ways. Federal Reserve printing money and loaning it to us, and us paying them interest, and then they're going to send it over here to that, which means the U.S. then has to monetize and have the Fed print money, or they just have to have a monetization or a haircut, and that's what many people believe will happen in the next 20 days. The government will have to make a bold move out there in the currency markets, because the dollar, up until last week when Prime Minister May of England took a risk and lost in trying to get more seats while it looked like she was gaining momentum, and it went against her, and her party lost seats in Parliament rather than gained. And the dollar got a reprisal for a couple of days late last week. So a lot of things going on, nothing specific except a lot of gray areas. I usually like to talk about areas being black or white, but you can look at every fundamental in the world out there between war and rumor of war, what's going on in Israel, what's going on in Greece, what's going on in Italy, what's going on in the world banks, and you're going to get different answers that would send different investments different way. And right now it's just not clear. So hopefully we'll continue to work together on getting this cleared up. If you are looking for a precious metals IRA, self-directed IRA, call us. We'll help you get money into physical gold and silver, not paper gold and silver. We continue to say liquidate your ETFs if you're holding ETFs in gold and silver and get into the real thing. We provide the lowest storage fees in the world. You can call us and we can walk through that with you. You can reach us at 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812, and we'll be happy to go over all this. Till next week, this is Tom Cloud signing out.